Oh, so many things I want to do. So many things that I can market right here in my YouTube channel alongside my WordPress account everywhere that I just cannot do. My ultimate goal and dream in life has been to fund the gospel with business money. I wanted to start a hair brand, fashion design brand, a consultancy firm, my skills, my professional skills. The proceeds, I would take some of them and fund gospel ministry. I did not want to monetize my Christian channel. One of the biggest reasons why I don't even want to monetize my Christian channel is because Christian topics can be so taboo that YouTube just keeps on putting strikes on them. I will be forced to be seeker sensitive or not talk about certain things even if I want to talk about them. If at all YouTube feels like it's a taboo, misinformation, whatever. So that's why ministry, I don't want to monetize ministry because it's just going to drive me into the insanity of watching what I say when things of God are very taboo, so they must be spoken.
Hello, please like, please comment, please share and share and share and share, and then please subscribe. Thanks.
Doesn't know that I'm innocent. My mom's colleague didn't know that I'm innocent. There are people who just receive lies about me and so treat me accordingly. But there are others who know they're lying about me, and they're the ones that avoid eye contact with me. My family members, my former friends. And so today, when I went to go see my dad, he couldn't even look at me. He couldn't talk to me. I wanted to give him the gospel. I told you guys I wanted to evangelize him again. I wanted to take him to the side and ask him, so how's your relationship with Jesus looking? But he couldn't even engage with me.
Hey, are you feeling reached by my content on YouTube? If so, you might be interested in checking out my tweets as well, alongside reading my content on my WordPress account, alongside checking out my shorts on TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Please enjoy the next coming content. Bye.
My family members think that because I lost my career, it's over. They don't think I can break past the mold of entrepreneurship. And so they are content with my poverty. They are content with me living in the squalor for the rest of my days, watching my beauty wax out, watching my eggs get old and so I can't have babies, watching my glory just like fizzle into the echoing darkness. That pain, the sorrow of understanding that they're watching me die that badly, I can't even describe it. It's like I'm still alive, I'm still breathing. Sakokumoya. Oxygen is still filling my lungs and you are waiting for me to breathe my last. You're watching a woman's life wither away. I was in so much pain today because of that conversation between my mom and my cousin. They hadn't, like, the smallest things hurt me. I think so deeply about everything. They did not pick up that they were breaking my heart, but I mean, goodness, I was broken. My mom could tell eventually because I was dead quiet and she was scared to talk to me. She then kept on getting back on the phone with my cousin over and over and over again. She spoke about some girl at the store where she bought clothes, because my mom she's a shopaholic. I may potentially have inherited that disease from her, but anyway, my mom is a shopaholic, so she loves coming home with just all different kinds of things that she's bought. She used to give me 600 rands a month, and she stopped giving it to me, trying to force me to go and scan groceries at the Pick and Pay. That's when I came up with the idea to come here to YouTube. $600 is nothing. It buys you nothing, okay? But I was able to buy my own tampons, buy my benzoyl peroxide and some ingredients for my protein shakes so that my exercise can go a long way. She took that away, and every so often comes home, and she told me that it was because she's about to retire and she wants to use every ounce of money that she has to fund whatever debt she might have left, so she can't afford to give me that money anymore. $600. 600. I mean, she wasn't giving me 3,000 or anything. 600. She basically told me that it's standing in the way of her comfort and freedom in her retirement years. I don't even have to begin telling you how much I used to finance my mother's everything when I was employed. That's another story for another day. Like, you know, when you've got amnesia. Yeah. So upon taking that money away from me, I expected that then she would also pinch her budget and stop shopping so much, but she just goes and buys these lackluster things that don't make sense, that stay in the house for 2 days and then leave again, and they exceed $600. Like, she would spend 800 here, 1,000, 3,000, buy a vase, take it back, buy another one, this time it stays. Like, she's such a spendaholic. And I was like, my goodness, so you took away 600 bucks from me, claimed that you were trying to seal all of your debts, and yet I have to watch you almost every weekend bring new, random, weird, strange things that you don't even need home, while I have to beg you, grovel at your feet for tampons. These are things, of course, that I just observe. So she was having a conversation today about yet another thing that she took back to the store. And it cost 900 bucks. Like some tracksuits that she bought from somewhere that she returned. And she was given a cash refund. And she noticed that the teller at the store where she took the stuff back had stolen 100 rand out of that 900 from her. So she basically hid 100 bucks, hoped that my mom would not count the money, and my mother only learned that she was stolen from when she got to another store and tried to use the full 900 or 400 and 500 rand combined, and she had to then end up using her card because she was 100 bucks short. She realized that she got stolen from by that girl. And then she and my cousin, busy talking about the same thing. Then she and my cousin went into a discussion about how, hey, Mara, some people are so dishonest. Some people are so dishonest. They're so sharp. They're even smart. They're very clever with the way that they steal. I mean, what more are we supposed to do, hey? You just trust them. You just look at them and they smile at you. And you think that because they're smiling, they are not going to do anything dishonest. You let your guard down and then next thing they've stolen from you. Again, tears. I was reclined because I'm car sick, so nobody could see me crying. I was lying down. And the tears were just coming down my eyes because for me it was like, you two beasts are exactly like the teller at the store who stole the 100 bucks while smiling in your face, acting like nothing is wrong. And then you only learn when you go to another store that somebody stole from you at another store. For me it was like, well, how do you not see yourselves in all of these people that you are wagging your heads at? The human heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. People have got delusions of grandeur. They believe themselves to be great when they are not. My mom and my cousin were talking about the indiscretions of other people, and they could not strangely see themselves in those people. I mean, they put me in a position to be a hobo like the one on Instagram, and they also are thieves, underhanded with smiles on their faces that pocket your cash. And you only find out later that this person stole from me. My cousin stole from me, my mom, both of them. And the way that my cousin was like, hey, these people, they're clever, they're tricksters, they're con artists. And I'm like you. You lied about me, you proliferated lies about my life. You spoke to the world about me like I was some derelict, like I was some mess up. You participated in the mutiny against my life. You allowed my ex-boyfriends and my former really bad, horrible friends to laugh at me when everything of my life fell apart. Literally, you were supposed to have my back as my family and you didn't. You lied. You stole my future. And today you're just watching me languish and you refuse even to help me despite having contributed to the mutiny against my life. And you don't see yourself in the face of that teller that stole that 100 rand note from you. All I could think about was the great white throne judgment. It gave me no comfort because it's so far away from today. There's still going to be a 1,000-year millennial reign before we can even get there. So it's not sufficiently comforting for me to think about the wicked at the judgment. How God is going to open books and be like, look at how much of a hypocrite you were on this day. The Lord is going to open my mom's eyes one day in the judgment to how much my heart was bleeding throughout her conversations with my cousin. She kept on coming on the phone and getting off on and off. She kept on calling her, upon recalling events that ensued in her day. And God is going to bring up screens. It's written in God's word that in Revelation that He's going to bring out books, and everything that was that a person did in their lives is going to be written in these books. That if your name is not found in the book of life, you're going to be sent into the lake of fire where there is a second death. Now, these books that are brought out that account for people's lives, I always like to transfer them to TV screens, because John was, when he was writing the book of Revelation, of course, writing things in the way that he understood them in his time. But I would imagine that more than books, what's going to happen is, even if it is books, these books are probably going to be animated, in the sense that when God opens them, people's lives are going to unfold in a way that is going to be physically seen, like you're watching TV, like a biography of these people's lives. And so these books are open, and the Lord will then show at the great white throne judgment what was happening in my heart, how people got impacted by the folly, the indiscretion of others. When the books are being opened for your particular life, I would imagine for my mom in particular, today, when I was lying down in the car with tears trickling down my eyes and my mom being unaware of the fact that that's what's going on, the Lord not only showing her the conversation between her and my cousin, but also how it is that my mother was exactly like that woman who stole from her, and how it is that the fact that she didn't see that was causing me, who was lying down with the chair reclined, to languish. I was crying. I was in so much pain that she doesn't see. She is unrepentant. She is unprepared to acknowledge that she's bruised me in this way. And so therefore, when she speaks about other people who have committed indiscretions against her, it breaks my heart that she doesn't even see that she's doing exactly the same thing that's been done to her, but to me. But God is going to show her how I felt, how I was crying. God is going to show her how she and my cousin were entirely inappropriate to have those conversations in front of me. God is going to show them just how much they were insensitive. And if they don't repent and give their lives to Him, they're then going to be thrown into the lake of fire. If from this day forward, my cousin and my mom don't repent, the opening of their books is going to be a sad day. A sad day. It's going to be a sad day too for us whose books are also going to be opened, but at least we're going to have redemption. Our judgment does not lead to eternal condemnation. It will lead to perhaps the taking away from us of crowns and rewards in heaven because we gave our lives to Christ. But those who don't give their lives to Christ, their judgment leads to hell, fire, for eternity. I pray that they will repent, but the level of hypocrisy inside my mom and my sister, not my sister, but my cousin, and my sister too, but those were the ones that were having a conversation over the phone, was just astronomical. It was through the roof. And it caused me to just languish all throughout that drive. I'm lying down. I couldn't even sleep because I wasn't even trying to sleep anyway. I just wanted to eradicate the feeling of wooziness, the queasiness that comes from being car sick, right? So the car was very quiet. Up until eventually we picked up one of my mom's friends from long ago. I told you it gets worse. One of my mom's friends from long ago knew me growing up. She has a son that is exactly my age, born in 1984. Her son was the derelict. You know, that derelict kid that I spoke about? From high school, he started smoking drugs. Like, he started out with marijuana and then he got into some very heavy stuff and was basically a junkie, kept on failing, blah, blah, blah. So I matriculated while he was still in high school, blah, blah. But as kids, we were very tight. As kids, we used to play with each other. You know, she and my mom were tight friends. And so I became friends with her son because we were the same age. But as the years progressed, I found out that he was just one of those boys that are going down some funny road. I have no privacy. I just keep on hearing everything. Anyway, y'all know this boy went some funny route. And after matriculating, after like high school ended, he just continued on a downward spiral. Junkie, all that jazz, made children with random girls that were not getting taken care of. His mom had to take care of his baby from the one baby mama. Like, just, you know, as I continued to hear the stories about this guy, my heart broke because it's like, but he was such a young, handsome man, and we were friends. And I mean, I could imagine what in the world under heaven he's going to end up looking like as he gets older, because he was so handsome, one of those yellow bones, you know. And he just turned out to be zero. And he also got quite tall, so he would have been really handsome if at all he didn't waste his life on drugs and all that jazz. So my mom's friend basically has a derelict kid, and to this day he's 37, just like me now. Because remember, we're the same age, born 1984. He is struggling to get his life together, but it appears to be coming around with some kind of a normal semblance, because I think he woke up and realized that he was messing up, but he's not where he was supposed to be in life. Nowhere near where he was supposed to be, because he's been squandering his life. His youth was spent on rubbish, basically. The fact that my mom and this friend of hers, because this friend of my mom's had a derelict kid, my mother would often go to this woman to complain about me ever since I turned to Jesus Christ. And how it is that I'm basically crazy. I've lost my mind with this thing of Christianity. And She went to her in order to find solace and comfort in this friend of my mom's, because this friend of my mom's knew what it's like to have a derelict kid. We were the same age. We grew up almost near each other, me and this boy. And then things, of course, went like, we forked due to the fact that he became so irresponsible. I was, of course, on a path that was responsible. I was an academic. I was studying. I was in school. I was working. Blah, blah. That was my life. I had a future, right? This boy, like, squandered his. And then my mom rocked up and started talking to her friend about how it is that, hey, you and I understand each other because our kids are both just so disappointing. My mother went to find comfort after breaking my life, shattering it, in this friend of hers. Speaking to this friend of hers like I and her son are birds of a feather. I lost my job because of Christian persecution, and my mother put me in the same bucket as a derelict junkie that squandered his future from the time he was a teenage boy. The pain in my heart upon understanding that my mother is busy trying to relate or find solace or comfort about my situation with this particular friend, knowing her son, the pain, guys. Yo, when you get clumped with fallen, decrepit, debilitated souls that are in that position because they ruined themselves, but you're in that position because people ruined you. You're the innocent one. It's like being in prison as an innocent person, and you tell your inmate, I'm innocent, and your inmate laughs at you on some yeah, we all are. That was my life. If you've seen the movie Chicago, yet again, that musical, there is in Cell Block Tango, he had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. Yeah, that song, when they sing it, there is a woman there in Cell Block Tango that is innocent. So everybody else has killed their husbands. Pop, Six, Lipschitz, Cicero, like they all have actually murdered their husbands, but there is an innocent woman that hasn't. And her part of the song when she sings it, she ends it by saying, she's a French woman and she doesn't speak English. She ends up saying, not guilty, in a French accent. And a white cloth comes out and the music slows down. It's like, she had it coming, because she's innocent. In the end, she is the only one that gets hanged. She's the only one that gets executed for the crime of killing her husband. She did not kill her husband. She was the only one out of those women singing Cell Block Tango that was innocent, but she was also the only one that ended up getting executed for the crime of murder. I feel like that woman in Cell Block Tango. All the other women that were singing, he had it coming, he only had himself to blame, felt entitled to having killed their husbands. They felt like they were not guilty, and they stuck to their guns and they had attitude. This woman, however, was like, I did not kill this man. I'm not guilty. But she died. She died. She got the death sentence, basically. I feel like that woman in Cell Block Tango, and I also feel like an inmate in prison that keeps on telling her cellmates and everybody in prison that I'm innocent, I didn't do this. And everybody's like, yeah, we all didn't. So I got banded. I got like mixed with a bunch. I got given the reputation of really bad people that messed up their lives because they were drunks, they were gangsters, they were into all different kinds of things, and that's why their lives ended up where they were at. But I was not guilty. He had it. I could not come up for air. I got gossiped across these Joburg streets. I got spoken about among family members like I was a derelict. Like I was some kind of a junkie that keeps on selling her mother's furniture in order to get a next fix. I was responsible, working underground, trying to get my life fixed, get it back together again. Despite all the trauma and pain that I was undergoing, I never ever once turned my heart against the Lord. I therefore never stopped being a good girl. And yet, he had it, not guilty. Everybody was like, yeah, everyone, Karabo. I also lost my case at the CCMA. The CCMA is some body where you try and get justice, some arbitration body where you try to get justice against indiscretions committed by corporates that we work for. The Labor Relations Act in this country has brought that about. And I lost my case at the CCMA because of corruption at MTN and bribery. And whenever I would go forward and try and fight this case, because I lost my case, that's why I couldn't get my job again. Because I lost my case at the CCMA, and there's nothing that I could say on my CV to make these employers realize that I I'm innocent. So with me having lost a case at the CCMA, everywhere where I tried to get a job, I would go to them and I'd be like, but I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. This is what happened. And they were like, yeah, Karabo. So is everybody. Everybody says that their company bribed. Everybody said, like, literally, I just looked so bad. There was nothing I could do. There was nowhere I could go. There was nothing I could try in order to convince anyone at all, that yes, I am the exception to the norm. Yes, I am the one inmate in prison that is on death row that actually didn't do it. I couldn't convince anybody. And now today I'm dying because I look bad. No one believes that I am innocent. People outside of my family that don't really, are not close to my situation very, very, very starkly, have believed the lies of my family to a point where my wasting life, the withering away, the losses that I am enduring every year that progresses, they look at me on some shame, but you were so strong and thriving once upon a time. And now you lost it all because you were irresponsible. Who did you think you were? You destroyed your own life. Literally everybody is treating me like I am the one that put myself in the position to be disregarded by society. Because my whole family lied about me. And everybody has got this mindset that everybody can't be wrong. This is my Christian persecution story. I am innocent. I am not guilty. But society and the perception that they have over people like me has made it such that I am now dying a martyr's death, basically. I am dying not guilty because no one will come to my rescue because, Karabo, come on. Come on. Everybody can't be wrong. It doesn't matter how healthy I am. It doesn't matter the fact that I don't drink, I don't smoke. I basically spend all of my days in this shack. I don't go anywhere. Like just the lifestyle that I live underground after having lost everything ought tell people, it ought make them think twice. It ought make them reconsider what they thought about me. The fact that I am not quick to go and hustle and grind in a wicked way to get my life back together again. It should make people be like, but if Karabo was such a bad girl, she would have already tried to swindle or crook some guy or something. Instead, she's busy sitting, languishing, waiting, like the way I work. And the way I keep on trying and failing and hitting brick walls and I go nowhere. I literally have no life at all. I go nowhere. Guys, my life is weird. My family members are walking around all of that weirdness, all of that loneliness, that isolation, that devastation, that destitution. And they're just like, they've destroyed my reputation. And everyone out there believes I'm a derelict. So the loss of everything, having nothing to my name. People are not too fazed by it. Because they imagine, shame, what a waste. She wasted her brains. She wasted her intelligence. They look at me like I wasted my life. Whereas it's people that are wasting me. And I'm trying to rise and come up for air, but no one will help me get picked up again. So this friend of my mom's, that she went to go, because they come from the past together, they both know my dad. They used to party together, blah, blah. That friend is the one that she went to go and pick up. That friend is the one she went to go and collect. And I don't even know what to say to my mom's friends because I know what they're thinking about me. They think I'm just such a waste. Like, why did you do this to your own life, Karabo? So I really have a difficult time talking to people who have no context or looking at them because I look at them and I can almost feel the condescension coming through them. Them looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just like get your act together? I'm innocent. And my mother is such a liar that she continues to pretend like I am dark, like I'm hard to love as a daughter, but you know, she's done everything for me. At least I've got a shelter over my head. She keeps acting like she's trying for me. And she's done her best. So of course my heart broke. Like I was in so much pain today, guys. The conversation between my mom and my cousin, and then my mom picking up this friend, and then this friend going on to talk about how her son appears to be getting his act together again, and my mother being like, who? At least Shem. And I know at the bottom of my heart, somewhere in my mind, that the two of them have had conversations about me being an irresponsible child. And the woman that my mom is speaking to believes that I am that. And so I'm just like this thing that when she comes into the car and greets, she's like, "Hi, Gabo, well, it's good of you to join us today." But she's looking at me like, "Oh goodness, you're still in this rut." I hate being among the world because it misrepresented me. And those that lack context believe the lies of my family. So it just broke my heart even more to hear them speaking, continue to have these conversations that they're having in the car. When the friend came in, she went to pick her up. Finally, we arrived at my dad's place. And my dad, I found out that he wasn't that sick. He is actually. He's got prostate cancer, but he's walking around. He has some life in his cheeks. He hasn't yet gone for chemo, from what I understand, and a lot of the stage that he's at. Look, I don't know what's going on, but he's not looking like he's dying like I thought he was. But he couldn't even look me in the eye. My dad, who stabbed me in the back, broke me, disregarded some dude that nearly raped me in his place, in his environment, with him being there. Like, the man that also has been a deadbeat dad disregarded you. The whole story with my father, I spoke about it the other day. Please go listen to it. That man, after having done what he did to me, because he's grated me, grieved, like he's also participated in the mutiny against my life, persecuted me as a Christian, despite calling himself a believer. Both my parents have thrown me under the bus to sharks. Both my parents have ignored men abusing me because of sexual perversion in them. Both my parents have disreputed me to other people who have gone on to abuse me, afflict me, yell at me like I'm some derelict kid. Both my parents have gone on to communicate to their ecosystems that I'm a derelict, one of those devious children that just won't get their acts together. And as a result of them speaking like this about me, I have been yelled at by strangers. I have been yelled at by aunties that didn't know me on my dad's side, and strangers that were friends of my dad have yelled at me. I have been yelled at or looked at in a very condescending fashion by people that know my mom. I have had one of my mom's friends from her work walk right by me without greeting me after looking at me like I stink. God. I don't want to cry. Lord have mercy on me. I just get so emotional when I think about all the people that have treated me like trash only because they've heard some pretty bad things spoken about me, even though they've never gotten to validate the content of my character. I don't want to cry. It's kind of late. It's already late. I'm there, but I'm gonna stop because my tears make no sense. Nobody responds appropriately to them, so let me just I have had people speak to me, and then the next time they see me, just ignore me because of the reputational damage that I've been slapped with. I've been reduced to some derelict, like a miscreant, like a kid that just will not get their act together. And so other people will literally treat my mom like, they would look at my mom like, you take too much of her rubbish. If I was you, I would have kicked her out. I've had people look at me like I am literally being spoon-fed, like I'm a spoiled brat that won't get her act together. And so they don't even greet me. They just walk right by me with a condescension, looking at me like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Get yourself in the punch." I am innocent. I am innocent, and I'm being lied about. Do you see why God made it its own commandment that thou shalt not bear false witness? It does this. I am such a good girl. I am so responsible. So for me to be looked at like I am just unreachable and insufferable and unrehabilitable it's like, my goodness. I am the kind of person that rehabilitates people. I counsel people to stop bad behavior. It's what I do. I long for people to turn and get their lives together. And you're treating a woman like that. Like she's the one here that won't get her life back together again. Like, my mom has done everything that she can and she's given up. That friend of my mom's, I recognized her voice from the phone because my mom, when she's with people on the phone, she puts them on loudspeaker. So I was about to meet a colleague of my mom's for the first time. And when I saw her, my eyes lightened up. When I heard her voice, my whole body opened up so as to gesture, "Hi, nice to finally meet you. I recognized your voice." And for her to just look at me like I'm nothing and just walk right by me. Like literally look at me once and look away. I was like, oh my goodness, she's been spoken to about me. That's why she looks at me like that. How many of you who speak about your kids to your colleagues finally one day get your colleagues meeting your kids and these colleagues are just like whatever, they like look at them once and look away? Really? Because if you're like, oh my goodness, my son, he's in matric, he's done so well, he's going to Wits next year. If at all you get to meet your mom's colleagues as a son, they will likely be like, "Hi Jabu, how are you? Oh my goodness, I've heard so much about you." My mom speaks so badly to me, about me, to people, that they just, some of them just walk right by me. Others are kind because they don't want to be mean to me. But you can tell from the way they look at me that they're like, I have had somebody try to help me and then suddenly pull off because it's like they heard something. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Like lying about a person. It produces this for a life, the level of pain. I mean, I'm just thinking about the great white throne judgment and what under heaven it's going to mean for many people in this world. The lies that have been spoken about me caused me to languish in grief for years, be innocent and be ignored, get trampled underfoot. It got me yelled at. There's a woman at my dad's retirement village that yelled at me all night. Just rapping about how I need to get my act together. She doesn't know what's wrong with me. All I could do was cry. And every time I would, with these tears of mine, she was like, "You and your crocodile tears." Basically saying that you and your fake tears were sick and tired of your fake tears. Imagine somebody yelling at you like that when you're innocent. I'm just in so much pain. I don't understand what's going on in my life. And it's been going on for so long. For so long. Man. Even though I want to hold the tears back every time I just think about all these things, it just brings it all back. Like I was crying just like this when this woman was yelling at me and all she could say was that my tears were fake. And I just had to sit under it. There was nothing I could say to vindicate myself. She was convinced that I use tears as a form of emotional manipulation, and so she just continued to throw the insults my way, and all I could think was, I am innocent, I've been lied to. And all of this yelling that this woman was enduring me through, she was also ignoring that I had lost my brother. Because a couple of weeks from that date, he passed away because he got shot dead at a party, and she just completely, I went to her to cry about my brother, and just 3 weeks later, she came at me like that. So it's like she thought that I was healed now, just 3 weeks after my brother dies. Like, everybody is so insensitive. Everyone has been so insensitive to me. Because of false witness. Just lies. And she kept on talking about how my sister is complaining about me. My mom, like everybody has lied about me so badly, so prolifically that I could not come up for air. So now, and because of such experiences as those, being walked right by, opening myself up to greet a person and they just walk right by me or look at me like I stink. Because of it, I'm avoidant now. I don't, any one of their people, anyone at all that belongs to them, like their friends, their colleagues, if they're in my space, I don't know how to act. I don't know how they're gonna treat me, so I withdraw. I withdraw. I've had my little sister's friends when she was in high school, because I've been in this for 8 years. My little sister is 21, so there was a time when she was in high school throughout my pain. And some of her friends would come and they would just look at me like I'm nothing. They wouldn't greet, or if I would greet them, they would just be like, hi. You know, when you look at somebody like, hi, I've heard so much about you, like with attitude, you know, that teenage attitude. It's like my little sister was speaking so much rubbish about me to these friends of hers, despite me being innocent, that when they finally meet me, they just treat me like, oh, so you're the person that's giving this lady such a hard time. Everyone reviled me to their friends and their colleagues. I could just imagine my little sister sitting in school being like, you know, I'm sick and tired of my older sister. She just sits there like a bum. I don't know what more to do with her. And then her friends come and visit her, and as fresh and as kind as I am, I'm like, hi, young girls. Hi, ladies. And some of them look at me like, whatever. There's a friend of my little sister's that once came here to pay her back some money. To pay my little sister. It's like my little sister had loaned this girl some money. And this girl came with her mom and her little brother to repay my little sister, but my little sister was not here. And I was like, I'll take it and I'll put it in her bedroom. And when she comes back, she will find it on her bedroom desk. And she was like, no, it's okay, it's fine. I'll wait. And the mom of this girl was like, you're crazy, we're not going to sit here waiting. Her sister is offering to take the money and give it to her. And she's like, no, mom, you don't understand, I'll wait. Basically, this girl believed that I was going to steal my little sister's money, pocket it or something, because she'd been given such a false witness about me that when she came to drop off my little sister's money and found me, she could not leave the money with me, despite being able even to contact my little sister and say, I have given your money to your sister, and she says she's going to leave it in your bedroom. And the mom couldn't understand why her daughter, because the mother doesn't have context, the mother could not understand why her daughter was being so rude to me. To a point of rebuking her. She was like, what do you mean? Like, Karawa has offered to take the money and drop it off in the city's bedroom. You can always confirm with your friend. Let's go. You're not going to make us wait. And she was like, no, mom, you don't understand. I'll wait. Those are the kinds of things that a false witness has endured me through. I've never stolen any money from my sister, my mom. I am so poor that I should be a problem of theft in the house, and yet I leave their things sitting there. I don't steal, it's not who I am. And yet somehow Lizetti's friend managed to get that coming across because of false witness. Like, I have been so badly spoken about by my family members, like casually, among friends, among random strangers, that when these people finally meet me, they sometimes have an automatic attitude, or they mistrust me, or they think I'm a thief. They think, like, it's just, I am so hurt all the time. I literally have no idea what's going on. I am confused. I have had a massive character assassination, you know, like defamation of character. I have had that in the most prolific sense. Like, I can't even... I've been so maligned. My name has been so reviled that if I did not record my striving underground for years, and so therefore display my character and my life in Christ and my honesty, I would die innocent but looking really guilty, with all of my inmates in prison, long story short, all the people that are actually truly guilty of these indiscretions, and that's why they lost their lives, looking at me like, Garabo, everybody here in prison is innocent. I have been put in the same clump of losers, basically, as people who destroyed their own lives because they were irresponsible. And it's so heartbreaking for me to like take those details in my stride. So I'm in the car, my heart is bleeding. We finally get to my dad's house and he can't even look me in the eye. He's dying now from prostate cancer. So now things are getting real. And so after having broken me, instead of apologizing, instead of having a heart-to-heart with me, all he can do is just avoid even looking at me, because he knows what he's done. They know, they all know. Those who are closer, those who know that I'm innocent, because a lot of people who have hurt me don't know I'm innocent. Like Lissetti's friend, my little sister's friend, doesn't know that I'm innocent. Didn't know. My mom's colleague didn't know that I'm innocent. Like, there are people who just receive lies about me and so treat me accordingly. But there are others who know they're lying about me, and they're the ones that avoid eye contact with me. My family members, my former friends. And so today, when I went to go see my dad, he couldn't even look at me. He couldn't talk to me. He was busy talking to... I wanted to give him the gospel. I told you guys I wanted to evangelize him again. I wanted to take him to the side and ask him, so how's your relationship with Jesus looking? But he couldn't even engage with me. He's at the end of his life, guys. He's dying. And even in his dying, he cannot get out of Bra jail. Even in his dying, my father cannot extract himself from Bra jail. He can't relieve himself. He can't allow himself to breathe and be real. No. You would imagine a deathbed would make a person realize that what's the point of faking anymore? It's over now. But my dad, I can't really say that he was mean. He just was doing what everybody else does when they are uncomfortable about what they've done to my life. Their eyes. He's not in hospital anymore. I found out that he's living in somewhere where he's sharing rental, and I don't know who's paying for that rental, but it's like some flats in Soweto. So his living conditions are not so bad, thankfully. I felt grateful for that. That he wasn't dying in some cold room, isolated, left alone to die. A painful death. That place is mostly furnished with furniture that I bought him. And my mom, when we were returning home, went on and told her friend, the one with the derelict son, that most of his furniture, let's say my older sister, she basically told her friend that my older sister bought my dad's furniture. There is no credit at all. You know, I don't know how to feel about this. The Bible says to the Pharisees who pray in the city square so everybody can see them and they wear long faces, he says they've received their reward in full. So when you get reward here on earth, you've received in full your reward as a Christian suffering. So when you get to heaven, I guess you're not going to get your reward there. So I don't know whether to be happy, glad that no one is giving me credit for having helped my dad or not. I was the one paying his rent prior to losing everything, and I bought massive chunks of some of his furniture. I was the one that used to buy him groceries. I was the one paying that 6,500 rand rental every month for 2 years before I lost my job. Me, I did all that for my dad. And my mom went on right ahead and told her friend that my older sister is the one that bought my dad all that furniture. My older sister did buy my dad some items of furniture, I'm not gonna lie, but most of everything that my dad has was from me. Most of everything he had was me. And my mom did not give me an iota of credit. She made it look as if though my sister's the one that took my dad off the streets, put him up in an apartment. I'm the one that reached out. I've already given you that story. I reached out to my dad when I came to Christ because I felt bad that a person does not get thrown away while they're still alive. So I reached out to my dad, and then my sister agreed to help. So most of my dad's restoration was due to me, and my mother would not even let her friend know that that is true, because everybody is busy proliferating such a lie about me that they cannot have anyone find out that I've ever been that altruistic. All of my rewards, including in the form of compliments or acknowledgement, they are given to other people. My sister has been given acknowledgement for having rescued my father from near death some years ago when it was me. So I sat there being like, at least my reward is great in heaven, because God will definitely acknowledge what I did for my dad, even though my mom won't do it. Even though my dad himself won't say sorry, the Lord will reward me. But it is so difficult. Delayed gratification, when you're busy throbbing, when your heart is busy throbbing, is so difficult to sit out, knowing that eventually in heaven one day, guys, you know, they just make me ideate. So they make me want to die. All the way in the drive back home, I just wished we would get into a car crash and just die. Like, they make me want to leave the earth. Not because I actually truly want to leave the earth or I want to die, but because everybody is so dead. I said that earlier when I started speaking here. Everyone is so dead that they make me want to go somewhere where there is life all over. Heaven. I'm not suicidal, guys. I'm just in angst. I hate the earth because it's just full of these pretentious people that are happy to stay in broad jail. My dad couldn't look at me, so throughout the interaction I was watching, I recorded a clip of it briefly on my phone, that whole interaction. Here, check it out.
Supposed to check it out on both.
So I did 1,000. I did 1,000. Serious.
Jumped there, Naka 1181. 1,181.
So I did not say this serious.
So that's why it was go to check the mobile. But next work about this. Yes, it was. Like chemotherapy. All 3 stages. I keep on doing treatment and thinking, and then no where every month, one Saturday. That's what I for. Then it was a dinner before, so then always like chemo. And then after chemo, it came out operation. And then I knocked down. Not inside,
Sorry, I forgot your name.
Also, you made it before. Prostate.
No, prostate by discovery.
By discovery.
Yeah, it was before.
How do you continue to work until you
prostate.
Oh, okay.
Prostate cancer, one of the long show of it, one of the doctors could be kingdom bill. We are prostate, Robobar. Motism malady. We are prostate. Is the likely. In fact, we are going to it. The only cause, they are all my complications. This data, prostate. Yeah, tender, even though it might not have.
So how cool ebe reference a refounela ke non tlanka go hello go ba go sofetsea a gona motho o ka refounela rona re blele wa ha re tlo utlwa ka batho ba go helbrone ba kana me dithaba le dinoka ebe le gona re
utlwa ra ho etsa etsore e re go bolela nnete ke le wa ntho etsa etseng sa pele.
Everyone should have access to nutrition. So at ShopRite, we made it a buy a brand and kept it there for 5 years. Everyone has the right to basic education. Nearly a third of South African girls so we can tackle 8 with just 5 rand. Every citizen has the right to choose their trade, but to recommend so we make filling meals buy for a single time. We believe lower prices can make a real difference in the lives of all South Africans, and we will always pay.
I'm busy. I got phone in the Usman. Smart tower to cook in the morning. To put on that. Yeah.
Then why is a phone?
Oh, now I was actually going on a way. Get out. The house at the back.
So throughout that entire time, when I was there at my dad's place, I didn't say a word. My mom was the one talking. My mom's friend was the one talking. And so I ended up just watching Britain's Got Talent that was playing on their TV. I watched Britain's Got Talent. I couldn't ask my dad how he was, how far his cancer was, what the doctors have to say, what his relationship was like. What I intended to do upon visiting my dad, I couldn't do it because he couldn't even look me in the eye. Plus, he didn't want to talk to me about what had happened in front of my mom and her friend. And she was also kind of avoidant of me. So I just sat there and watched TV, feeling stupid. I felt like a child. You know when your mother takes you to like a society meeting, your mother takes you to a friend's house and you just end up sitting all day on the couch, walking up and down, and then they feed you jelly and peaches and custard, and then eventually you go home. Yeah, like you know those kids who get dragged along to random places by their parents. I felt like that. I'm a 37-year-old woman, and I felt like I was dragged along to accompany my mother somewhere with her friends. I didn't say a word. I greeted the guy who lived with my dad, the roommate, and my dad. And after that, and it was only when we like that level of pretense was through the roof as well. My mother took to my dad a whole bunch of food, blankets, and whatnot, right? And I remember thinking, oh, mother. Oh, another thing about the conversations she was having in the vehicle with my my cousin. She kept on telling my cousin, hey, there is this one woman here. I've given her all of my bed linen. She needed it. There is this one child. I've given him this. And basically she was speaking about the charitable work that she's walking in pertaining other people. And I'm like, Barbara, your own daughter, your own child, flesh and blood, doesn't have what she needs in life, and you're busy giving your whole wardrobe away to complete strangers. You won't even help me get a job. God is going to say to you, even your most righteous works are like filthy rags. So here it is that my mother is again at my dad's now side, and she brought him like food and blankets, spending money on her ex-husband who, you know, messed up, did not take care of the kids, all that jazz. The ex-husband of which would have not even found himself in that position, would have much better living conditions, have medical aid, have proper doctors, oncologists on guard 24 hours a day. Yes, he's got proper doctors there where he's at, but public hospitalization in this country is just bereft, okay? I would have done that for him in a much more comfortable environment if at all they had kept me employed. If my dad had helped me to get that job that he brought a friend of his to try and hook me up with, and then he lied to the friend and said that he must ignore me. If he had not done that, his life conditions would be much better, and so my mother would not have to deal with the patronizing activity. Like, imagine being divorced from a man, and then years down the line you find out that he's dying and you're now taking care of him. Like, he hurt you, he broke you, he crushed you, and then you then have to buy him groceries, bring him blankets. He ignored raising your children. It's like a burden that you have been given because you're too much of a bigger person to allow your ex-husband to just die with no care or service or support. So now the guy that did you in real dirty, you're now taking care of him on his deathbed. Well, if you had not hurt me as his daughter, you as a former wife would not even have to deal with that. My duty towards him remains by mere virtue of him having been my dad. But you are the ex-wife. You owe him nothing. But now look at how you're having to grovel at like the deathbed of an ex-husband, when I would have been happy to do that as a daughter, because you contributed to me being here on earth. Even though you were a deadbeat dad, I still have a duty to you. My mother took that away from herself. She took away the benefit of her daughters taking care of her ex-husband so that she doesn't have to. She was so bitter when I was busy helping my dad at first, because she was like, all that money is going towards your dad. What about me? I raised you. I was there. Well, now today I bet she wishes she had not had that kind of mindset, because now she's the one that's having to take care of him, because she's too guilty to let it go. To let him just go out into eternity without saying anything. That's my dad right there. So I remember just thinking, you're busy paying the way of your ex-husband because you feel guilty for leaving him die. How much more then are you going to feel guilty about leaving your daughter die? So am I looking forward to a future where I've got these random, like to this day, I still get given, like she felt guilty because it's really cold, it's winter. These very tracksuit pants that I'm wearing right now, this like 2-piece, she bought it for me because she saw that I was walking around in my little bum shorts in the like winter, and like coats like this one for a gown. I'm walking around in that because it's like freezing, and that's how I'm like stacking, like stuffing myself with clothes. So she felt bad and then came back with 2 tracksuits that she bought me that are comfortable, that I can wear, and here it is that I'm wearing them now, right? Today. So these are I remember when she bought them for me thinking, I should be able to buy these for myself. I also would personally have not bought this color, these particular brand. I would have gone and bought my own thing here, but you made sure that you're gonna be the one buying me tampons, Mom. At the age of 37, you made sure that you're gonna be the one buying me tracksuits. You made sure that you're the one that is going to be looking at how I'm struggling the way that you would look at a child struggling, and then realize that they need a new pajama set, and so buy it. I'm 37, and you want to buy me things the way that you would buy a toddler that does not know that they need new tracksuit pants. How are you content with that? It just hurts me so badly that my mother is content with every month having to remember to buy me tampons. It's just, how are you content? I did not one day get in a very bad car accident and became quadriplegic, lost my mind as well. And so therefore, because I'm drooling in a wheelchair, I can't take care of myself. And that's why you have to make sure to be careful to buy me tampons every month. I am a thriving woman that can work, and you are content to buy me tampons. There's stuff like that, guys. I am in angst. Angst, there is no better word to describe it. I am confused with the bra jail. Everybody is so super pretentious of the normality of the situation that they are not at all frazzled by the disquiet of their own persons in walking in a particular way. How do you have a genius daughter that at 37 is sitting around gathering dust at the back of your house that could be making some real paper, and so making even your retirement much better? She has been rolling around in this falsehood for years, and as grateful as I ought to be for these tracksuit pants, they were bought for me in a prison, a hostage situation, in order to inspire in me Stockholm syndrome. So this is not just like a present I get from my mom, because she noticed when she came to my house where I am with my husband and my children that I'm busy wearing bum shorts in winter, and so decides that, hi marangwanaka, I noticed last week you were busy walking around in your house wearing bum shorts. It's winter, man, so I decided to buy these on my way to your house. I passed by Woolies, and so I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom, come on, I had it, okay? I had it. You didn't have to do this, but thank you. I'll start wearing them. Next time you come to my house, I'm gonna make sure I'm wearing this 2-piece. That's a gift. That's something that if my mom buys for me, even at the age of 37, I'm like, thank you, Mom. You still care for me even though I'm all old, I'm grown up, and now you're scared that I'm going to catch COVID or whatever. You're scared that I'm going to get the flu because I'm walking around in my house in bum shorts during winter. My husband didn't even care enough to buy them for me, so thank you. But no, it's not that. It's that I've been reduced to the state of a child. And my mother is now buying me things because it's winter and you need tracksuits. She's doing it for my dad. It freaked me out. The whole day hurt. She's doing it for my dad. And so for me, I realized, it's like I had a light bulb moment. Except I've had it all along. I realized that if I don't get my life back together as in day before yesterday, if my mother lives long enough to see me turn 50, she's gonna be buying me things because she feels bad. She will have wasted my childbearing years. She will have wasted my beauty. I will have never gotten married. I will have just stayed in obscurity, and because she felt guilty, she will take pension money out of her pocket and continue to buy me panties, bras, tampons if I have not yet menopaused, and hair extensions, benzoyl peroxide if I'm still with adult acne. You get my point. At 50, I am 37 years old. I'm turning 38. She has watched this happen for 8 years. I realize she's going to watch it happen for another 8. And I know that it is possible that she can do that because she went on right ahead and catered to a dying ex-husband even though she doesn't have to be at his bedside. I realize that I am my dad to my mom. She has reduced me to a man that has lost his life and will never get it back again. And the way she makes herself feel better is by coming to buy me groceries in some debilitated apartment I'm living in Kosoweto when I have had far better properties before, when I used to have a thriving career. How does this woman reduce me to my dad who squandered his entire life on alcohol when I don't even drink? If I don't succeed here, if I don't get my channel off the ground, if I don't go get married and have my children, if I don't live my life, I am going to be getting scraps of charity handouts from family members that will have thrown me into obscurity. Their envy caused them to refuse to help me get my life back together again, but their guilt caused them to continue to buy me deodorant, roll-on, spray for my hair, and tampons on my period, and hair extensions because my afro is looking kind of scruffy. Like, they will give me hand-me-downs. Just 2 days ago, she tried to hand me down my little sister's tracksuit pants. I took them back to her. I was like, the audacity to give me hand-me-downs from that disrespectful kid. And also treat me like I'm not supposed to be in a position to hand down my clothes to my baby sister and not the other way around. I am so badly treated that people don't even see things that might offend me. So I took them back to her, and that's when she decided to buy me these tracksuit pants brand new. It'll be a cold day in hell when I take anything handed down to me from my little sister. Oh goodness, like cold day. I am dignified. This is self-respect. They're prepared to do that. They are content, do you understand, to cater to my needs in very minimal capacities for the rest of my life without ever envisioning yet again my independence. It is a waste of my genes for me to not have children, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. I am godly. My kids might turn out Christ-like, loving Jesus. I am beautiful. My kids might come out cute and pretty. I am intelligent. My kids might get straight A's in school. I want to proliferate my eggs because they are worth the while to have in this world. I will raise children up in the admonition of the Lord, and so they might just end up like Charles Spurgeon. And this woman is saying, I'm sorry I hurt you once upon a time, but I can't have you come up for air because then since I lied about you so badly, people are going to know what I did. So my whole future is being destroyed because people cannot take in their stride being exposed for having lied about me. They're guilty, they're uncomfortable. But their guilt and their discomfort is not enough to make them repent because they don't want to have to say I was wrong. Because how taboo is it going to look when it becomes factual in people's understanding that my mom did this to me? She's going to look really bad. So she would much rather take this to the grave. She's in bra jail. Her retirement would be so much smoother, so much easier, if at all my life was okay. Instead, she has to focus on still being able to afford buying me tampons and retirement. Her retirement. They retired me early. My dad would not be facing death alone if he hadn't been inside a bra jail. Everyone is so fake. Everyone is so false. And even after learning hard lessons late in life, they don't come around. My mom is turning 63. I don't know my dad's age because I don't know my dad, but I know he's in his 70s. And at those ages, their pride is still so erect. It is so fresh, so thorough, if anything, more like fortified is it than it was back when they were young, that they will not even say, sorry, no, I can't do this. I realize I was wrong. And also realize that because they're old, who cares if the last few years of your life, people find out that you hurt your daughter? At least you got to live most of them acting a fool, pretending you're cool, and everybody treating you like you're responsible. You've already had your fill of life. Let me live mine. Let the rest of your days be better than what you're presently experiencing. Because right now, you are lying through your teeth to yourself. And by the amazing grace of God, people are also starting to notice that something is wrong with this picture.
Hey, are you feeling reached by my content on YouTube? If so, you might be interested in checking out my tweets as well, alongside reading my content on my WordPress account, alongside checking out my shorts on TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Please enjoy the next coming content. Bye.
Until he realized I'm about to get out and he is old and he'll probably die before I come back again and see him. I think it just dawned on him that God was so upset, like I was quiet the whole time, that she's so upset that I'll probably never see her again until I die. It was only at the very end of his life, like the tail end of his life. And with that level of punyuga bampete, that he was like, I guess I need to stop wearing this bra. I need to get my boobs out of bra jail to be free and real and acknowledge the truth of what in the world has happened. Even to apologize, he had to be dying.
Don't forget to like, comment, share and share and share and share, and finally subscribe.